Hello, everyone. This is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horne. And I'm bringing you a video tonight titled Sex Symbol Men Are Never Rattled. Got one for you tonight. But before we go any further, always know my videos, they're inspired by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life. In addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push with the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. But let's get right to it. Sex symbol men are never rattled. And I had put this title together earlier this week. It was in my notes. And I saw something yesterday. I was on Threads, and there was a woman who commented, and she said, "Men hate losing access." And of course, I couldn't resist. I had to comment back, and I said, I said, "Men who are not attractive hate losing access." I said, "The attractive men don't." I say they pivot to the next woman, and there's always another receptive woman there. That's exactly what I said. And plenty of people, reposted it and agreed with it, liked it, whatever you want to call it, because it's true. And that's why the sex symbol man, he never gets rattled, because he's always inundated with offerings of beautiful women of themselves to him. That's just how it is. He's never rattled. He's always neutral. He's never rattled. And so I just want to go deeper into that in this video and just talk about I'll begin by talking about an experience I had some years ago. And this I was up in the club, and it wasn't anything like spectacular, this, typical DC club that I was in. And it was early in the night, and I talked to this girl, like she looked decent, and she just kind of brushed me off. And then there was another woman who walked in, towards the end of the night. Not too long after that woman, like, brushed me off, because I probably got there late. So it was early in the night for me, but it was late in the night for the club. And so this woman walks in, and it's almost like everything's radiating around her. She has people around her as she's walking in, and she's the center of everything. And she was gorgeous, Spanish and black, or just all the way Spanish. I don't know. She was exotic, man. And so as soon as I saw her, we kind of took a look at each other. This is right after the mediocre girl blew me off. And me and this, gorgeous girl, we took a look at each other, and we immediately made our way to each other. I stepped to her, and she gave me her number. The energy was there, the receptivity, the lust, the attraction, it was all there. So needless to say, not too long after that, her and I got together, and we spent a little bit of time together. It didn't last very long, but I was satisfied, with the duration and the reality of the interaction. It was cool, you know. And we did our thing, we got physical, and we had a good little run. But that's what I'm talking about, that sex symbol men are never rattled. There's no sort of rejection that's going to get a reaction out of you, because you're always one pivot away from the woman who's going to give you exactly what you're looking for. And in that particular example I just gave, like that when the new girl walked in, I didn't even have to turn around all the way from the woman who rejected me, tried to play with me. I just pivoted. And that's the reality of the sexually attractive man, the sex symbol man. That's all you have to do is pivot. Once you've worked on yourself to a degree that you can be designated and deemed as a sex symbol and a sexually attractive man, you just pivot. So therefore, you're not reactive to any rejections. You just pivot, because beautiful women are your norm. Beautiful women are just your norm. And see, the beautiful thing about this is that you'll have women, see, when women encounter an extremely sexy, attractive man, they immediately claim that man. They take possession of that man. And you've heard me talk about it in multiple stories, how women grab you by the arm. And that's what I want to talk about next is, how women, beautiful women, are going to claim you. They're going to always be trying to claim you, take possession of you. And it's not a bad thing. They're just overwhelmed by the gravity and the magnitude and the attractiveness of the man that's in front of them. So that's why sex symbol men, they're always neutral. They're never rattled, because there's always an extremely attractive woman that's just waiting for them, waiting to meet him. And it happens over and over again. It's a norm. Your mind is staying. Like I said in my previous video, Your realities are going to reflect your personal evolution as a man. And once you evolve to the point of being a sex symbol, that you are completely receptive of yourself, you don't want to be anyone other than yourself. And considering that you found great things about yourself, you never want to misrepresent yourself. So your appearance is always on point, as well as internally, what you're giving to the world. That's the quintessential man right there. That is the sex symbol. He's the unmistakable him. That's the sex symbol. And when you become this man, it's just normal. Women are going to revere you. And like I said in my previous videos, men are going to admire you. Women are going to want to have sex with you. And if that's your norm, if that's the experience that you consistently recreate, then how could you ever be rattled? How? It's impossible. And if you're shook and if you're reactive to rejection and you have an emotional reaction to rejection, you need to up your sex appeal, because you're not supposed to feel the sting of any rejection. It's just supposed to be a pivot to whatever's waiting for you that's next for you. And so, that story with that particular woman, we had like a good week or two run. We did our thing. We got physical. It was cool. She fronted on me on my birthday and ended up going out with someone else. I wasn't really tripping and this and that. And then she tried to circle back. And, you know, I just let her know, like, look, I'll keep it cool if I see you, type of deal. Like, it's all good. Like, it's nothing personal. Like, you fronted, you did what you did. And I kept it cool. So it just so happened that a year after this girl, quote unquote, drops me off or whatever. It's like she don't want to deal with me no more. She backs away, right? An exact year later, I'm in DC. I'm on U Street, and I'm about to meet up with this other girl. I was with my little brother at the gym. I got to play little brother, and this girl ran up to me as soon as I walked in the gym. It was a gym over in Southwest, and tall, light skinned mixed chick, my exact type. And she was better suited to me than the other girl that I told you I had the 2 week run with, right? And this will all come into relevance as I tell this story. So I'm out. It's 4th of July. I'm out in DC, and me and this girl meet up. And so I told her, meet me at the spot on U Street or whatever. So I walk in there, and I'm waiting on the girl to get there. And the first person I see is the girl that had dropped me off a year prior, like around the same exact. That was like exactly a year. And like I told her I would do, I just said what's up to her, and this and that. And I think she went in the bathroom, and then the girl that I was meeting up with um, came. She ended up walking into the establishment, and this girl was beautiful. She was younger than this other girl, and they were both very pretty. But this chick was like more suited to me considering how tall I am. She was probably, I would give her in the 5'11" range, and I'm 6'5", and the other girl was like short, but it didn't interfere with what we had. But I'm just saying this girl was just a little more physically suited to me, so it looked worse. Like, damn, I dropped this motherfucker off, and here he is, this tall ass mixed wavy head chick. So you know, she sees me with the girl, and then it was a promoter that I knew that was throwing an event at this particular place. And he asked all of us, because I didn't know that he knew the girl that I had met a year prior. I didn't know that he knew her, and I knew this guy like through my family. I had known him for a while too. So he was like, "All right, let's go up 13th Street, and let's watch the fireworks, right?" So me, the girl I was on a date with, and the girl I was fucking with a year prior that dropped me off, and some other people, we all walk up to on 13th Street, and it's a little fenced off area, and we just watch some fireworks and stuff like that. And the girl who dropped me off a year prior, she couldn't even stand to look at me and this girl. She saw this girl like hugging up on me and kissing me and shit like that. And I distinctly remember her turning her back to us. And that's why I say sex symbol men are never rattled. You're never rattled. There's always another woman that's going to be receptive to you, that's just waiting on you. It always works out that way because you've graduated to that magnitude of a man. If you've really worked on yourself to become a sex symbol, it's going to take an amount of discipline that's worth it, and you'll see the worthwhile benefits when you get to the end of your discipline. And the discipline never ends, but the discipline will take you to a place that you're recognizable and you arrive at the place of being a sex symbol. And that discipline is different for every man because every man has a different purpose and focus and subsequent vision. And so you have to accept the reality of what it's going to take to become the man that you see internally until you tangibly live in the reality of that man externally. That's your individual level of discipline that is only revealed to you when you make a decision as to the type of man that you're going to be. And when you say, hey, life, I'm going to give you my absolute best, I'm going to not want to be any other man other than myself, then subsequently, you're going to develop the discipline and you're going to show up to life because you're going to arrive at your best. And you're going to show up to life and give life your best because your discipline took you to a place of arrival as your best. And at that point, once again, all you have to do is exist. That's all you have to do is just exist, and the women are going to come. Exist, predict, and recreate. You exist, and then you predict because it's happening over and over again. So by the virtue of the man that you become, you can exist. You know what comes with being that man. That's how you predict. And you know it's coming again over and over again. That's how you recreate. That's a sex symbol man right there. And that's why he doesn't feel the sting of any sort of loss around him pertaining to any woman. He's arrived. And what's going to happen is that you're going to see women take possession of you. They're going to want to take possession of you. And see, when a woman grabs you by the arm, that's her taking possession of you. When a woman grabs you by the arm, it's an involuntary commitment to you as her first choice. Let me say that again. When a woman grabs you by the arm, it's an involuntary commitment to you as her first choice. And so there's so many instances that I think back about women taking possession of me, how women take possession of men that are sex symbols, that I'm going to share some of those with you and what they mean and what they signify. Excuse me. And I can just think back of every woman that I've been involved with, especially women I just meet, and just how they all do the same thing. Like they'll be out and they'll be talking to men all night, and then all of a sudden they'll see the sex symbol, the man that they came out the house to meet, as opposed to the man that they might in the evening with that they're going to tolerate because they couldn't find the man that they came out the house to meet. And I noticed and I observed something, that they all move the same. And one of the most memorable experiences that I have that happens on a consistent basis is like women will be walking with another man. This could be like right outside of a club or just anywhere, inside the club. Like I've had some crazy experiences, you know, and they'll be with these men and they're never arm in arm as far as grabbing the man's arm, but they're walking arm in arm with this man. So what I came to realize is that, these women are tolerating these men. And then once they see the man that they really want, then they're going to take possession of that man. And so I've had experiences, multiple experiences. That's why you have to be dangerous out here. I've had multiple experiences where women were walking with a man and then they abandon him and walk over to me and grab me by the arm and leave with me. And that's when I realized that she'll walk arm in arm with the man and she'll settle for him. But when she meets the man that she wants to take possession of, that's when she's going to grab him by the arm. Because once again, it's an involuntary admission that she views you as her first choice. And so how can you ever be rattled as a sex symbol when women are constantly giving you their validation of you as their first choice? They're grabbing you by the arm. And the grab you by the arm is very significant because, if they first meet you and they do it, it's an open admission that I am off limits to every other man. When she walks arm in arm with the man, she's open. She's open to the man that she really wants to meet. And when she meets the man that she really came out the house to meet, she lets everyone else know I am no longer available. And she parades you and shows you off to the other women. That's what grabbing you by the arm is. It's an open admission that you're her first choice and that you are what she came out the house to experience. And so, how can a sex symbol man be rattled by any sort of rejection, be rattled by anything, any sort of disrespect, any sort of woman losing interest? He's never rattled because he's always neutral, because his experiences are always having him in a satiated state. I hope that this is incentive to push the boundaries of your own self development and see what level of sexual attractiveness that you can arrive at. And so, once that woman grabs you by the arm, that's the open admission that you're her first choice. And then she only has one thing on her mind when she grabs you by the arm. She wants to experience you sexually right then, right now, right there. And then it graduates. Okay. So that woman, you can have a sexual experience with her. She initiates it by grabbing you by the arm, grabbing you by the hand, taking you to the bedroom. Like those are the progressions. And then it progresses beyond that when she begins to develop a connection with you, because it wasn't just the physical. She got to spend some time around you, and she saw deeper things within you that had more appeal to her than the initial appeal that she already had to you that was already heightened. And so sometimes you'll make your way out to a date after you've already had a sexual experience or two with a woman, and then you'll notice that when you're walking into the establishment, what does she do? She grabs you by the arm. See, when a woman grabs you by the arm, especially like when you're in a dating scenario, she's already letting you know you're my man. I've already made up in my mind that you're my man. And at that point, she's waiting on you as a masculine man to observe her enough to say, I'm your man. I feel safe inserting myself into this situation. But that's what I'm trying to say, is that once that woman grabs you by the arm, it's in she's already committing to you. It's an involuntary commitment to you as her first choice. So if this is your regular experience, you're meeting women that you've known for seconds, minutes, that are grabbing you by the arm. How can you feel the sting of any woman that doesn't want to be with you? And that's why you have to up your sex appeal if you're feeling a sting, if you're feeling frustrated, if you're lashing out at women that are rejecting you. Now, some women get extremely disrespectful, and you might have to say something to them. I'm gonna be honest with you. But by and large, women don't owe you attraction. But when enough women give you attraction, you don't feel the sting of the women that don't give you that attraction. It's really that simple. And see, when you're a sex symbol, women won't just grab you by the arm, they'll parade you around. And this is why the sex symbol man is always so neutral, because women will parade you around. That same woman from the first story that I told, that same woman took me past where she lived. She had some family living with her. And I remember her aunt was outside. We pulled around back up in the alley. I think she had to grab something. And she tells me to come over. And she introduced me to her aunt, and she just stood beside me. Like, look at this motherfucker I got. And I think about every young, beautiful woman that I've been dealing with or in relationships with. They all invite me out to meet their young, beautiful friends. And they all do the same exact thing. They take a step away from me and look at me and look at the people, like, look at this motherfucker I got. So how can you feel the sting of any rejection? How can you ever be rattled when the youngest, most beautiful women that exist on a regular basis are not just grabbing you by the arm and taking possession of you, but they're showing you off to the world? Then it gets even deeper as a sex symbol. These women will actually share you with other women because you're a display piece. You'll be in situations where you'll meet a woman and she'll say, oh no, we're not going straight back to your place. We're not going straight back to my place. We're going to go pick such and such up, one of her family members, one of her friends. And then you end up having sex with both of them that night. So I don't really go that deep into it, a lot of times, but it gets that deep because you're an offering as a showpiece, as a sex symbol. It gets that deep that women will offer you to other women. So how could you ever be rattled? How could you ever be rattled? And there's one more instance that I can remember, and I'll end it here. This was some years ago. I won't specify, which year this was, but I had somebody I was, kind of hanging out with. I'm usually by myself, but it was a guy that I was hanging out with for about a year, younger dude. We just kicked it, you know, and we would always, we would kind of see some of the same girls because we were just out in DC. I mean, like every night for like over a year. It was crazy. It was a wild year, man. And it was just one girl, and she would always be with her friends and stuff like that. But she was the number one socialite in DC. And how I came to that conclusion was if you were to look at like the Instagrams of the clubs and the promoters and all that kind of stuff, she was always in the photo. Every club photographer made sure they found her, or if it was a flyer for a party, she was on the flyer. I'm talking about everywhere, all over DC. Like this chick was the number. She was pretty much. I mean, I'll just call it what it is. They designate her the baddest bitch in DC, man, at the time. So one night, I'm out with my boy, cross paths with old girl that I just told you about, and next time I know we back in my spot, and my boy's trying to get at her girl. She ain't really going for it, and so my boy ends up rolling out. Her girl's on my couch, and me and Miss Social like boom, we in the bed, we getting it popping. Wake up the next morning, take her girl home. She didn't live that far away from me. Come back to my spot, we'll get it popping again. I take Shorty to her car, man. But this was the weird part about that, right? The weird part about it was after that, I saw her maybe like a day or two later out, and I don't know, what it was in her mind or whatever, but she tried to play it like real low key. I wasn't like trying to hover around her, nothing like that. I just happened to see her when I walked in a particular establishment, and just went up to her, and she kind of like threw me a cold shoulder. I was like, all right, cool, no problem. I already experienced her, plenty of other young beautiful women. Like I wasn't rattled. I was like, that's how she felt about herself. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever, you know. So after that, I began to see her different places because me and my boy, like we were on the scene. She was on the scene. Of course, she's the number one socialite in DC and all this other stuff. And so I just started ignoring her. Like every time I saw her, not saying like she was trying to come get in my space, but I didn't go out of my way to say anything to her. And if I did see her, I didn't acknowledge her. And so what ended up happening, we were up in this spot, and this was, I would say maybe a couple months had gone by since her and I had like got together, had sex or whatever, and then she played me the next day. So we up in this spot, and it's kind of like popping. It's a certain night of the week, like this is the only spot that's really popping like that. This night of the week, and I see her, and I think I was with my boy that night. If I'm not mistaken, I was with my boy, and I see her, and I see one of her girls, and then I see one of her girls start talking to her about me. I remember that day like it was yesterday. And so at that point, the same girl that brushed me off, this Miss Socialite, she came up to me and was like, "Why don't you ever say anything to me when you see me and all this other stuff?" And I knew what happened is that it was too many other women telling her how attractive I was, and they probably didn't even know that we had like got together. And then something went off in her mind where she wanted to come back into my space, re-ingratiate herself into my space. And I just let her know. I was like, "Nah, what I'm saying, you was acting kind of funny, what I'm saying, this and that." But I wasn't rattled, and that's the whole point of what I'm saying. I don't care if it's the baddest chick that's out, or this and that. Every woman is the same when you are neutral. And why are you neutral? Because you have a continuum of experiences that are a reflection of you evolving into a sex symbol. And what does that create? A man that is never rattled, always neutral. So that's what I wanted to just get across to you, is that the sex symbol man is never rattled. That girl, it was nothing. The baddest chick in DC, nothing. Came back to me like, "Oh, why you not talking to me?" You know what I'm saying? This and that. Because I just, you're every night. And believe me, like, that year it was every night. And that's what I'm trying to get across to you. Up your sex appeal so that your experiences are a continuum of elevated experiences where women lust and desire you, Women want to take, um, they want to pair themselves with you. They want to claim you, and then that's going to normalize that for you. Excuse me. They want to take possession of you. And then once beautiful woman after beautiful woman wants to take possession of you in different forms, then every woman becomes the same. And when every woman becomes the same, then that's when you have a neutral existence. And what does that translate to? The sexy, attractive man never being rattled. This has been Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach. Bring you a video talking about the sex symbol man is never rattled. It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push with the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. And I hear you all in the comments. You want to make videos on particular topics. This is how you get it done. Those are called custom videos. You make a donation of $150 or more to my PayPal and my Cash App information that's in my video description. In the note feature on PayPal and Cash App, before you complete your donation, you write the title of the video that you want me to make, and then you complete your $150 or more donation on PayPal or Cash App. Put your topic in that note feature and complete the donation. Then I have your video on my channel in 24 hours or less. If your subject matter of the video that you want me to make is more nuanced and detailed than just leaving a note feature, you complete your donation on PayPal and Cash App without the note. You bypass the note, complete the donation. Email me at matt@matthewchorne.com with your more nuanced and in-depth description of what you want me to make your video on. And once again, your video will be on my channel in 24 hours or less. If my video has been of value to you tonight, and your thought processes are elevated, and you have a concrete understanding of why the sex symbol man is never rattled, then I want you to make a donation to my PayPal or my Cash App information that's in my video description. I never take a donation for granted, and your donations continue to help me to elevate, grow, and move forward as I continue to be in position to bring you this elevated content so you can elevate, grow, and move forward. It's a very even exchange, and thank you all to everyone who's been donating. If you haven't donated, make your donation. If you're in need of coaching, if you have different challenges, impediments, and frustrations and circular movements within the dating space, I want you to email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. Leave, and this will all be in my video description. Leave coaching in the subject matter of the email. In the body of the email, you leave your name, your phone number, and whatever issue that you're facing in the dating space. Okay? I'll do an assessment, and then I'll email you right back with the terms of the coaching. Once you accept the terms of the coaching, then the coaching will commence. Okay? Get your coaching sessions from me. Give me 1 hour of your life. It will never be the same. Okay? Get your coaching. Email me, matt@matthewchorne.com. I'm still looking to fill the remaining slots of the 5 individuals who want to take a year-long coaching journey with me. What that year-long coaching journey with me looks like is a minimum of 3 coaching calls per week. I'm going to do an assessment of every individual and see exactly where you are and where you want to be. Everyone will get different training because everyone is showing up to me as individuals in different places and stages of life. So you're going to get custom curriculum and coaching from me. From the very first coaching session, you're going to experience dramatic change and breakthroughs. And imagine having me as your dating coach for an entire year. There's nothing like it. A minimum of 3 coaching calls per week, as well as 24-hour access to me as well. You can be going through any situation with any woman, and I'm going to talk you through it and help you to get to the other side of it. You have 24-hour access to me in between those coaching calls and sessions, man. Call me, text me, email me. You're going to get a response. In addition to that, I'm going to meet up with every person who joins the five people who join my dating coaching year-long journey. I'm going to meet up with them in person, no matter where they are in the world, and I'm going to coach them in person at least once. It's going to be a magical, flourishing, beautiful experience. I promise you all that. Okay, and that's essentially it. To sign up for my year-long coaching journey, I want you all to email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. Leave mentorship in the body of the email. In the body of the email, you leave your name, your phone number, and whatever, you know, wherever you are in the dating space and in life and wherever you want to be. Okay. Specify that in the body of the email. And I'm not going to email you back. I'm going to call you back. And we're going to get on the phone and decide if we're a good fit to work with one another over the course of a year. So I'm looking forward to filling the remaining slots. And everyone who signs up with me, I promise you, your life will never be the same. Lastly, my dating coach community on the school platform, I want everyone to sign up. It's a very affordable monthly membership, and you get exponential access to materials that are going to allow you to grow. And you have direct access to me once a week. And then my dating coach community on the school platform, what you're going to receive is 2 custom videos that are not on YouTube that are just for the community every week. I allow members of the community to give me their video topics, and I put their topics into videos and make these custom videos and put them in the community for everyone to see. Also, you get to get on the line with me. You get to get on the video live with me once a week, Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I do a monologue on a particular topic. And me and the members of the community who are on the live, we discuss the topic. And then after that, you have an entire hour to ask me anything you want to ask me for an entire hour regarding dating, life, whatever. I'm your dating coach for an hour every week. Every live that we had is archived in the community. Every custom video that I made is archived in the community as well. So there's dozens of videos that you can join my community and watch, binge watch, and grow exponentially. And then you can also have the opportunity to hop on the live and talk to me once a week. It gets no better than that, okay? I want everyone to sign up for my dating coach community that is on the school platform, Matthew C. Horne Dating Community. The link to sign up will be in my video description, and I look forward to seeing everyone in the community. And that's all I have for you. Just understand that the sex symbol man is never rattled. I hope I gave you enough examples that you really understand the gravity, the reality, and the magnitude of the sex symbol man. And you're incentivized to take a deep dive within yourself to connect to your true self so that you can give your best, have no holes in your game, and develop a love and a care for yourself that you're always giving the best product to life and subsequently getting the best in return. I see you all soon.